Hi, everybody. Rachel Tiede here with a look at your top stories for this August 16th. And there's one story that we have really been all over for a couple of weeks now. Tessa Bentulin, our 13 Investigates reporter, has been on this story, and it revolves around a house demolition out of Colonie. Cleanup is finally underway of this house debris after it had to be demolished last month. The roof had collapsed, and residents were telling us that the what was left behind, it left such a bad smell that it made the area just unlivable. So today, crews started cleaning up around 9 o'clock. They left around 3, and the city told us after our reporting that they were going to clean this up. We followed up on this today, and they say part of the delay was because the house had asbestos, which had to be specially monitored at the site to try to avoid any of that going into the air. So there were special sensors that were in place. So tonight you're going to hear about more of that cleanup process, plus how they made sure that it didn't go into the air and create a bigger problem for that entire neighborhood. We're also hearing about Lee Zeldin, who is in a bit of hot water tonight. Next week's primary has nothing to do with the governor's race, but the competition is still heating up. The Democrats are pushing for a criminal investigation into Republican candidate Lee Zeldin. And Zeldin supporters are calling Hochul's campaign desperate and pathetic. Democrats are saying that the Zeldin campaign turned over a petition to the Board of Elections trying to gain an independent party line on the ballot. But the Board of Elections found that 11,000 petition signatures were photocopied duplicates. So tonight we'll tell you more about the controversy and the response from both parties, a response from Lee Zeldin on this story tonight. We also have another 13 Investigates story for you, this time out of the city of Troy. This has to do with HBO's Gilded Age filming. HBO filming kind of all over the capital region. Their production has come with parking restrictions. And during the last few days, Ashley Young, a Troy resident, has documented crews blocking the 3 accessible parking spots on the block. The accessible parking is only steps from the Independent Living Center. And after News Channel 13 reached out, a city spokesperson said they set aside more parking elsewhere. So you're going to hear from city officials and residents tonight as this controversy continues, creating problems for those people who really rely on those disabled parking spots being taken up by the filming that is happening in Troy. Well, let me bring in Reed Kisselback because he is tracking the weather tonight. And yesterday, Reed, we were talking about a little bit of rain coming through the area. So what are we seeing here tonight?
Well, we have a little bit of rain coming through the area right now, and we will be seeing a more promising opportunity for some rain tomorrow. We can actually see it right now. It's working its way up the coastline, approaching towards Boston right now. This, as it rotates right up the coastline, will actually clip us a little bit, give us a little bit more cloud cover and the potential for a few showers. So the hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow, it looks bleak, but it's honestly not as bad as it looks on here. We start out with temperatures in the 60s. Highs for the day still reaching into the upper 70s for us, but we will see a more promising opportunity for rain, so we'll track it for you overnight tonight into the day tomorrow. We'll get a brief little break in the rain overnight, but we'll start out the day tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. as you're heading out the door for the morning commute. A few scattered light rain showers. That stays with us through the course of the morning commute, and then as we get into the early afternoon, we get enough heating in place where we could actually get a couple of heavier downpours firing up, maybe even a rumble of thunder with some of these. This is 3 o'clock, and this will stay with you through the course of the evening commute. And as we work our way towards the overnight period, 8 o'clock, you can see a little bit of a lull, but we have the back end of this pushing on through by 11 o'clock and staying with us overnight. And some of the models right now actually showing this lingering into the start of the day. On Thursday, we'll be keeping an eye on this, though, because if any kind of change in track occurs, that might clear out sooner or even later. But for the night tonight, it's partly cloudy overall. It's pleasant. Still a few showers in place. For the day tomorrow, mostly cloudy with some scattered showers. A little bit of some thunder is a possibility as well at points. Highs only into the upper 70s. The 7-day planner, like we said, a 20% chance right now for Thursday if that storm system doesn't clear out in time. Otherwise, partly sunny, dry, high of 80. Friday, sunny, a high of 86. Saturday, up to 88 with plenty of sunshine. Sunday, 89. So we're getting pretty close to 90 once again. And then Monday, Tuesday, more active weather pattern coming back into play. scattered showers and thunderstorms will cool back down closer towards the mid 80s, Rachel.
All right. Loving this last little bit of, well, maybe not the last little bit of summer, but
Usually
another.
when we get into September, we have maybe one more week of heat. It's almost always right as the college kids move into the hot, unair conditioned dorms. Is what I recall from the many summers of going to school at UAlbany.
Right. I actually drove past UAlbany today for an interview for a special that we're working on. And I saw everybody starting to move back in. I said, that time of year. And how is it? Yeah, everybody moves in the hottest, it seems like, temperatures, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah, it's, I mean, when I was an RA there and we helped them move in, because I was always on the freshman quad, almost always there would be at least 2-3 different families that would come up to an RA. Usually each of us would all have this, and they would go, "There's no air conditioning in these buildings?" And we're like, "No." And then they go, "All right, wait, go get a fan." And like they go get in the car and drive off to Walmart, come back a couple minutes later with a fan.
Yep. Brutal. All part of the experience, right? As they say.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Well, cool. Thank you, Rita. I'm going to keep you here because we are going to talk about one other thing here, and it has to do with movies. You're a movie buff.
Movies.
Right?
I like my movies.
Like movies. So a new study from, I think it's pronounced P-Reply, I believe, found that almost 70% of Americans would rather see action films in theaters, and over 50% prefer to see sci-fi films in theaters. So with that being said, they reached out to 1,000 Americans. They found 1 in 5 have seen a new movie in theaters this summer. And theaters are still sort of coming back after the pandemic, obviously. Yep. Right now, Top Gun and Doctor Strange are the 2 most popular blockbusters, which was not a surprise, I feel like. Yep. Have you seen either of those films?
I have seen Multiverse.
Okay, I need to see that. That's on my list. And then nationally, in the past 50 years, these are the top 2 most popular over the last 50 years.
Okay.
Do you want to wager a guess?
Avengers Endgame and Avatar.
You're way too recent.
No, really? Okay.
Good guesses.
Titanic then is my next guess. But other than that,
Grease, released in 1978.
Okay.
And Gremlins, released in 1984, are the 2 most popular.
Interesting.
Believe it or not. I have not seen Gremlins. I have seen Grease. I mean, who hasn't seen Grease, right? Yeah. It's a classic. Yeah. It is a classic. Well, anyway, that is our fun talker for the day. News-wise, we covered a lot today, obviously. We have 2 13 Investigate stories for you. We have the Colonie House demo and the Gilded Age controversy surrounding parking of handicapped spots. We also have Lee Zeldin, who is in a bit of hot water. The Democrats calling for a criminal investigation after they say that the Zeldin campaign turned over a petition to the Board of Elections trying to get a spot on the independent party line on the ballot. But the Board of Elections found that 11,000 of those petition signatures were photocopied duplicates. The Zeldin campaign saying that they had nothing to do with it tonight. You're going to hear from them coming up tonight at 9 and 11 o'clock. Of course, we're going to have an update on your weather and your latest breaking news at 9 and 11. See you then.